Calls for action on climate change have been going on for years, but now some of those voices are getting younger, and they're eager to see adults take action. In recent months, millions of young people around the world have taken part in protests demanding climate change be treated like a crisis. Scenes like this unfolded in Canada during last month's cross-country climate strike. Remember that? CBC Kids News asked other kids who were part of the protest what action they want to see from government. Here's what some of them had to say.
I want to let you know that we are in a climate crisis. The Fight for Our Futures movement is giving youth a platform to vocalize that we will not stand for world leaders to act like children.
We want the government to send a signal of distress.
I'm here to stand up for something that really is important to me. It is my future that is being put in jeopardy by not taking action. So I am fighting for my future and my children's future today.
We're demanding that all levels of government treat the climate crisis as the emergency that it is. We want the federal government to massively reduce carbon emissions. We want them to fully recognize the rights of Indigenous peoples, and we want them to fund a fair transition for fossil fuel industry workers to a green economy.
I think that we should go back into renewable energy because people say that it's expensive, but if demand goes up, prices will go down.
With more on the impact kids can have when it comes to the environment, we've got one of the contributors to CBC Kids News right here in studio. I'm excited about it. His name is Campbell Barron, and it's great to have you on set right here, Campbell. Climate change. I know it's this big, huge monster. We all try to take little bites of it, but it seems to be resonating with so many young Canadians. Why do you think it's really hitting at them?
Well, you know what? This is kids and the world. This is the world we're inheriting, right? So I think right now, with the rise of social media and the rise of the voices that students are saying, I think it's really important that kids are sharing their voices.
I've always believed in using your voice. Are they using it to the right extent? I'm hearing, you know, we are the protectors of the earth. And you, as you say, you are going to inherit this earth that people my age might have messed up.
Yeah, so I think when you look at this problem, I think kids and the activism that's going on right now is really important. And I think kids are not going to be the only solution. I think it's a combination of both, right? You know, doing the CBC Kids News climate change series, a lot of the stuff we've talked about, and when I've talked to experts at different universities, we've really looked and kind of shared the message that there's not one solution, right? There's not this magic technology that's going to fix everything.
There's no app for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is no app for that. So it's a combination of a variety of things, of new technologies, you know, lowering your ecological footprint. There's not one solution.
And each one of us has to take some part in that. But is there a common thread in the concerns you've heard among young people, sort of, you know, a specific common concern?
Well, no, because I don't think there's one, like going back to that, I don't think there's one thing that we could do, right? I think it depends on the students that you're talking to, you know, what they care about. The common thread in this situation is essentially that we are going to inherit this earth and we want to make it better. And I think as a result, that is why you're seeing the protesting, and that is why you're seeing this this giant buzz on social media. This 10, 15 years ago probably wouldn't happen without the rise of Twitter and Instagram.
So does it not sort of scare you that when you're tackling an elephant, you know that expression, how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time, right? Is it kind of hard to see climate change as that entire elephant, yet decide where am I going to take the bite? That's what I'm asking about specific concerns. Sometimes I think things can appear insurmountable when you look at them as a big, huge whole.
Right.
So are there things that, you know, you're focusing on, or that young people are focusing on to take those little bites out of the elephant?
Yeah, so again, I think it goes back to lowering your ecological footprint, right? So that could be eating less meat, you know, taking public transit, carpooling, those types of things. But I also think for this to be solved, or for this to help slow or reverse climate change, a lot of the stuff we've talked about on Kids News is essentially, help from adults too, working together, right? If people are disagreeing on all these topics, nothing's going to get done.
Are adults listening? I mean, if you ask my kids, did my mom listen to me? They'd probably say no. I would like to think that grown-ups are listening because they need to. Are you getting that sense?
Well, grown-ups are listening because I'm on CBC right now.
You know what? Way to go.
That is how it works.
Ba-boom, right there.
No, but in a more broader spectrum, I think, like I said, social media, it's very powerful. Whether you're 13, whether you're 50, you can have a social media account and build a following. And some of the youngest climate change leaders that we're seeing right now have millions of followers on social media and are making serious change. So in that sense, yes, I think they can influence.
You've been speaking with experts, I know, as well as part of Kids News. Are there solutions being suggested that you're, digesting?
Yeah, well, one of the, on an upcoming episode of CBC Kids News Climate Change 4, we actually look at carbon capture technology, which is an exciting technology, carbon capture and storage. We visit a company in Markham called Pond Technologies, and we talk about the different types of carbon capture. Some of it is just actually capturing carbon from the atmosphere and then storing it underground. Some of it is actually capturing it and then turning that carbon into something that could be reused. And we look at kind of the pros and cons there.
Excellent. You know what? Sounds like you're having fun at this. You're learning stuff and you're sharing that information. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great to have you on. And you're
you.
absolutely right. We're listening because you're here. That's Campbell Barron. He's a contributor to CBC Kids News.